Right now on 12 News at 5:30, Arizonans want answers as to why a 28-year-old was shot and killed by a DPS trooper on Memorial Day. They're demanding justice for Dion Johnson. Tonight, they are taking their frustrations straight to DPS headquarters in Phoenix. We want to get straight to Team 12's Erica Stapleton, and she joins us live from Encanto Park, where hundreds of people are gathered to protest the deadly shooting. Erica?
Hey Mitch, we've actually moved from Encanto Park here to DPS. I'll give you a look at the crowd here, and we actually just heard organizers say this is the front here. We are right outside DPS at 21st Ave in Encanto, but we just heard organizers tell us that this group is so large that the end of the line of marchers is actually back at the park, which is about a mile down in Encanto. So certainly a really large group. When we were at the park earlier, there was probably a couple thousand from our vantage point. So definitely a large group. We'll probably get a better sense of the number later on, but a couple things to point out here. As we made our way up to DPS, the protesters stopped at multiple points saying, hey guys, we got to keep this peaceful. We've got to stick everyone together, make sure no one branches away. We don't want to become targets. So that's why you see this big group here. So far, we haven't really seen anyone breaking off at this point in time. But before they started marching too, we also had the organizers shouting out, encouraging people to write numbers on their arms if they need help with bail, if they do get into some kind of trouble later on into the night. So again, not sure what any intentions are here, but the bottom line is they are demanding justice for Dion Johnson. He was shot by a DPS trooper on Memorial Day, and throughout the week, we've heard his name come up in protests throughout Phoenix, but this protest here is actually this is about him. So a lot of people chanting his name. We've heard his name throughout the day. And here's what you need to know about his backstory.
This hurts worse and worse.
Dion Johnson's family fed up. His mother, Irma, crushed.
I can't sleep.
After watching an ADOT feed that appears to show her son struggling after he was shot by a DPS trooper.
I have nightmares.
Phoenix police, who took over the investigation, says a trooper found Johnson passed out drunk in his car, blocking part of the road near Loop 101 in Tatum. The trooper removed the gun he found in the car, and when the trooper went back to arrest Johnson, police say Johnson reached through the window and grabbed at the trooper and his gun, which ultimately led to the trooper shooting Johnson. In the video recorded by another news outlet, a trooper appears to try and apply aid to Johnson, still alive, while an ambulance stages nearby for at least 2 minutes. And without body or dash cams, Johnson's family fears this is one-sided.
How can they prove that what they said actually happened?
Which is why State Representative Reginald Boulding is asking the DOJ to get involved.
Will we have an investigation that is truly unbiased and that is truly thorough?
Not just to look at the shooting, but the time it took to get Johnson to a hospital. DPS says their trooper called for help within seconds of the shooting. Phoenix police tell us they're still investigating what happened, but say in general, a scene needs to be cleared by law enforcement before other first responders can go in.
Is the policy that you wait it out until that individual dies? Or is it that you provide immediate assistance?
All right, guys, back out here live again. Phoenix police investigating this case. Neither Phoenix police or DPS has released the names of the troopers involved in this incident. That's actually one of the demands from protesters here. They just want a police report. They want something because at this point there is limited details from police that we know about what happened. So again, as investigators continue to work on this, we are hearing people out here demanding justice for Dion Johnson. And I should also point out that Dion's family is not out here tonight. I actually spoke with their attorney earlier today. They said they're working on Dion's funeral arrangements, so they are not out here tonight. And a majority of the people that are out here are actually strangers to Dion. We were talking to some folks earlier today, and they said, no, we didn't know him personally, but we were just so moved by his story after coming across it on social media or hearing about it on the news. So again, a lot of emotions out here, not just for Dion Johnson, but just this movement in general since George Floyd's death as well. So again, there's a lot of passion out here and a lot of demands for answers as we continue to work our way up 21st Ave now. So we're moving back away from DPS headquarters at this point in time, and I believe the plan is to head back to Encanto Park. So we're going to be going up and around the other way, so the protesters that are kind of at the back of the line there can work their way up around DPS as well. So that's a check at the scene here. And I do want to point out, before we toss it back to you, Mitch, I do want to say that there is a police presence. We have police that have been guiding protesters up the road. There hasn't been traffic. Obviously, you can see this movement is taking up most of the roadway, but we have not seen any officers in riot gear, which I know can be something that does incite protesters. So I do want to point out that people have definitely been passionate. They have been yelling, they have been shouting, but for the most part, we have seen people being peaceful. So that's definitely a check in both directions. No one wants to see anything bad happen. So we'll be keeping an eye on everything out here for the time being. But Mitch, I'll send it back to you for now.
All right, thank you, Erica. Sounds peaceful right now. Hopefully it stays that way and you stay safe.